Okay, well, we are going to look at Axanar, Gathering Storm. Now I have to tiptoe around this video, and you're going to know why if you've been following the story, what's been going on here. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we see.
This is a galaxy-wide transmission of the United Federation of Planets. The United Federation of Planets Historical Society, in association with Memory Alpha, presents the 4 Years' War. On Stardate 2244.3, 3 Klingon D7s penetrate deep inside Federation space and attack the squadron carrying Admiral Ramirez to Earth from Starbase 4. The attack leaves Ramirez critically injured, and the USS Artemis is destroyed with all hands.
The attack sent a shiver through Starfleet. It was bold and brazen.
The Klingon attack on Ramirez's convoy was brilliant. They figured to take out the Admiral, they'd take out our war effort.
In war, execution is everything. When you get your shot, you better not miss.
The attack on Admiral Ramirez was a shock. But he already set the plans for the Battle of Axanar in motion, which, if they had failed, could have spelled the end of Starfleet, the Federation, and billions of lives.
Wow, right off the bat, we have J.G. Hertzler back as his character on this. I cannot remember his character on the first Axanar film. Sonia, I think, was that character's name of hers. She's back. And am I wrong, or is that the same actor from the Star Trek 2009 movie? Spoiler. Everything spoilers if you're online at this point. And if you that was killed by Nero. So what, I wonder if he's playing a different character or the same character. If you're out there, you please let me know. So let's continue. And I will try not to talk too much because we'll get back to the film.
Starfleet was in crisis mode. The new D7s were formidable, and with our Constitution class not yet ready, the gains we had made since launching the Ares class were quickly vanishing.
Appointed to take over for the hospitalized Admiral Ramirez, Admiral Threll was the first non-human to head Starfleet Command.
The Axanar battle plan was risky. We all knew it. But the introduction of the D7 made it clear we didn't have any choice.
And just like that, we could see the momentum of the war changing again. After the introduction of the Ares class, we could see the war moving in our favor. Now, everywhere D7 showed up, they wreaked havoc.
The success of the Imperial Navy
led to reinforcing our overconfidence that Starfleet was no match for the Empire. Our D6 was the best ship in the war at the outset.
At the time, the development of the D7 was not a priority, given our dominance on the field of battle.
But that rapidly changed, and the speed at which Starfleet launched new and better ships took the Imperial Navy by surprise.
That lack of urgency rapidly evaporated.
Not a few intelligence officers were replaced because of this.
There was a paradigm shift within the Admiralty. It was not bloodless.
After 2 years of war, the High Command finally started listening to the theater commanders.
In addition to accelerating the development of the D7, we activated ships and squadrons not in service for years.
But there was something more. If they weren't pushing us back so badly, I would have thought they were desperate the way they were throwing their ships at us.
They were throwing everything at us. D6s, D5s, Raptors, even old D4s were showing up. The sector was a target-rich environment.
In the 80 years since the foundation of the Federation, Starfleet has evolved from a small exploratory force to a cohesive fighting force. A large part of that was because of the relationship between the captains.
While crews were segregated by member worlds, we all trained together. We learned each other's fighting styles and tactics. We each knew what the other would do in battle.
Except maybe with Sonya. No one ever knew what she was gonna do.
Klingons, especially their captains, they fight as individuals. They fight for personal honor, the honor of the Empire. Starfleet captains, we fight for something more. We fight for each other.
We succeed because dozens of member worlds work together, share common beliefs, and a set of principles that guides us.
You have to believe in what you're fighting for, that you're fighting for something bigger than yourself and your crew, because it's the only way you can rationalize the loss of your friends and your shipmates.
What people
Okay, well, a few comments. Of course, I got to learn how to read. They showed his name there. Travis. So, I don't, there's the Andorian captain, and there's Karen the Undying's back too. But for those Stargate fans out there, we know who that Klingon is. That's Master Braytak. And his intensity in his eyes, without also being calm and mellow. I'm getting Braytak vibes from that. Anyways, the D7s. Wow. And even old D4s are showing up, Captain Sonya said. And what I like about this, it goes back to the original series where, and they did a close-up of her uniform, where the original series, like, not everyone had the same communicator badge like it was on Next Generation and Deep Space Nine Voyager, but the badge was actually like their ship or their fleet or something, but it was different. And then there's always a little different design. So I'm really cool that they did that. I'm really glad that they did that, and I thought that was really cool. I always get my words confused. You're just gonna have to forgive me on that. Um, so great. And Garth is back. Of course, we know who that is. All right, back to the show.
People don't realize is the war had taken its toll on Starfleet, for sure. We lost a lot of great men and women through 4 years of battle. And that brought out the best in us, though.
The arms race had overtaken us, and many at Starfleet believed that the Constitution class was our only chance to prevail.
Leaving the front lines to oversee the construction of the Constitution class? That was the saddest day of my life. But a soldier goes where a soldier is ordered to go. And we desperately needed those ships.
Ramirez had realized the genius of Garth's plan. And Garth was the obvious choice to lead the fleet.
Cal had a way of looking at things differently. I knew it the day that he solved our engineering qual exam with a tunic, a phaser battery, and a data card.
It had the merit of never having been tried.
Cal was different.
Hell, I've known Garth since our academy days.
And the first time I met Garth, my first impression was I would break him like a twig.
The two Nausicaans he put down in a bar during our sophomore year would disagree.
Yeah, Ken started that fight.
First and foremost, Mr. Tanaka, very, very nice man, cuts a very nice figure in his uniform, very handsome. Do not give that man something to drink.
Ken was always getting us into trouble and leaving me to get us out of it.
And he recruited me as his first.
But I don't think there's anyone I would trust more to help me make good decisions.
It's not that the captain ran a tight ship.
Yes, Captain Garth is demanding.
It wasn't about discipline.
As engineer, I am always trying to find out and test the limits of what my ship can do.
It was that his expectations were high.
I'm very fortunate to have a captain who's always willing to help me find those limits.
I wouldn't want an engineer who wasn't complaining about how hard I pushed the ship.
And we all wanted to strive, to give our best at all times.
You always have to push your crew to go beyond where they think they can go.
Because we're Starfleet. And that is what you do.
If we had to put up one captain against the best the Klingons had to offer, I think... No. I know. Every Starfleet captain would have said Garth.
Yeah, it'd be Garth.
With Sonya, maybe, as a close second.
Okay, I have to mention this first of all. Again, they keep doing close-ups of all their uniforms, and that's cool. But I have to mention, I love Sonya's hair and makeup and uniform. It's well done. The visual effects are well done. Everything's well done, and this feels like Star Trek to me. All right, back to the show.
With the Constitution class delayed, we had to end the war before more of those ships came off the line. The Axanar plan was our best bet.
My take on Garth's plan was, well known.
It was bold, aggressive, not a lot of room for error. Just the way I like it.
The plan was logical. A war of attrition would not have favored the Starfleet, and with my people ready to withdraw from the Federation, a quick, decisive victory was required.
So I promoted Garth to fleet captain and gave him whatever he needed to get the job done.
Unfortunately, we were going into war short-handed. Not only were the Vulcans pulling out of the Federation, meaning we wouldn't have their ships or expertise at our disposal, but the Constitution class wouldn't be ready either.
And we really needed their firepower.
The Constitution class was the next generation Starfleet heavy cruiser, meant to equal the Klingon D7. But problems with its warp engines meant it would not be ready in time for the Axanar operation.
We gave the Constitution's engines a cruising speed of warp 8. That was equivalent to what the D7 would do from what we knew at the time. And then we gave it weapons and shields to match the D7 as well.
The old man asked to meet with me at the space dock where Enterprise was being built. Of course, he wanted to know if she'd be ready in time. I had to tell him no.
There is no question that the Constitution class could have changed the course of the war, swinging the balance back in our favor.
But we had to play the hand we were dealt.
Karn felt there was a great opportunity to end the war at Axanar. The Starfleet shipyard made the decision that much easier.
They had spies. We had spies. It's the nature of war. A campaign of disinformation had been in place for months. The purpose was so the Klingons would believe that the Constitution class was being built at Axanar.
Axanar was tactically advantageous to us. It gave us cover based on where we figured the Klingons were coming from. It made sense, building constitutions there, but was so close to all the Federation's worlds contributing to its construction.
The Klingons had just taken Mizar. Axanar was the next logical step in the Klingon advance.
We just made sure the Klingons couldn't say no to taking Axanar next.
Many on the Klingon High Council wanted that war to end quickly. They were perhaps more anxious than prudent. We all saw an opportunity to end it. But Karn was also cautious. There were spies on both sides. Karn had concerns.
On a mission to Sirius 3, Garth and his team captured a Klingon officer and the detailed schematics of the D7. We had hoped the Klingon would give us some insight into how many D7s were being built.
Even though we recovered the schematics of the D7 the Vulcan operative was sent to retrieve, Starfleet intelligence was unable to decode the data.
Klingons don't easily give up that kind of intel.
The Klingon ambassador filed a complaint after the war that we had tortured one of their officers.
Hey, I was at that interrogation. And I'll tell you right now, it wasn't torture that got us the information.
I told the Klingon that if he told me what I wanted to know, I would give him a chance to kill me. If he succeeded, the information would die with me.
That poor bastard. He had no idea who he was dealing with.
After so many ship-to-ship battles, it was nice to finally face a Klingon one-on-one. It was invigorating.
While the Klingon didn't give us everything we needed, he did confirm there were only 3.
Okay, have to comment. Sonia's response there is I'm not sure what to make of it, but I like it. And again, all the backgrounds, the sets, everything feels Star Trek. It's great. Great to see that. We got Saval back from Enterprise and from the other Axanar movie, and a few, I think there might have been a clip or two, like short clips online somewhere. But this is all great. Yeah, I don't know all the characters here, and I know there's a couple Andorians, and I'm not sure what that one character is, which she has the purple eyes. I'm not sure of that, but you can explain that all to me. I'm not super knowledgeable about everything about this, but I'm pretty good on when it comes to Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. I'm a little rusty on the original series, so you're gonna have to forgive me for that. because Star Trek ended in 2005, as far as I'm concerned. But this is Star Trek, and I'm so happy. Very, very happy. All right, back to the show once again.
Operating D7s in the quadrant at the moment.
What we really needed was to decode those D7 plans. We needed to find a weakness.
We had many intelligence assets at our disposal. Just before Captain Garth left for Axanar, we obtained the cipher to decode the plans that the captain and his crew had previously obtained.
In the Klingon Empire, it takes 4 to 5 years to launch a new class of ship.
The Federation forced us to do it in 2.
A new ship like this, being thrust into war early, we assumed there would be some weaknesses that we could exploit.
Its weakness turned out to be the complexity of its shield systems.
They designed the shields to be on 3 separate systems. One for solid matter, torpedoes, micrometeors, one for high EM weaponry, phasers, and one for low EM. Now, the low EM emitters, now they are the least valuable technically, and therefore they are the least protected.
If we could isolate the frequency of the low EM emitters, we could counter it, enabling us access to their internal network.
And that way we could bypass the shields
and render them defenseless.
It was a page out of the Romulan playbook. Kind of ironic. But I'll take any opportunity I'm given.
On Stardate 2245.3, while Starfleet pores over the newly decrypted schematics of the D7, Starfleet vessels, including squadrons from Earth, Vulcan, Andor, and Teller, rendezvous at Axanar.
Admiral Threll let me pick my squadron commanders. Alexander, Travis, Rabau, Trask, Narv. We had 97 ships, which we figured was more than the Klingons could bring to bear.
The challenge was always going to be the D7s.
The battle plan had 3 elements. First, Travis and his squadron would guard the dry docks, which had mock-ups of the Constitution-class ships. That would give the appearance of exactly what the Klingons were expecting.
Basically, I was bait.
Second, Rabau and his squadron would hide behind the Axanarian moon. Karn would expect that as well. And finally, 2 squadrons to take on the D7s and their escorts and penetrate the D7 shields, and 2 squadrons to take on the rest of the Klingon fleet.
We knew what the battle would cost us. So we brought 13 Daedalus-class hospital ships to deal with the casualties that would invariably result.
And it looked like Garth's plan was right on the money. 3 Klingon battle wings, 81 ships out of Mizar.
With the fracturing of the Federation and the D7 changing the balance of power of the war, the lives of billions of Federation citizens rested on the success of the Axanar battle plan.
There's an old saying, no battle plan survives the first contact with the enemy.
Okay, a couple of things now. First of all, they keep mentioning Mizar. No, my astronomy is correct. The Mizar, you can see it in the sky. Well, if you look through binoculars or a telescope, you'll see 2 stars. It's a binary system. Or is it? Wait, if you look through it through even higher power of magnification, there's actually 4 stars. I think. You astronomy buffs can tell me if I'm wrong. Anyways, what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, Saval. It makes sense since he's a Vulcan. Looks a little older from Enterprise. Well, Enterprise took place 100 years before Kirkish. I don't know the exact number. It's something else you can tell me. So it makes sense that he's looking that way as a Vulcan. Kind of like how Spock was looking on when he appeared on Next Generation, even though that was 80 something years or 70, 80 years after their time ish. Again, I don't know the exact numbers, but that's kind of cool. The Constitution class. So they were building fake Constitution classes near Axanar as a subterfuge. Did I misinterpret that? I'm not sure. Anywho, and again, I like Sonia's attitude, her snarkiness. Like she's getting a little kooky. Since it's been 10 years since the first movie, she's a little kooky, and I like it. Anyways, back to the show. We'll finish this off and see how this goes. All right, again, that was amazing. Thanks for watching. Let's hope this video stays online. We know what's going on and I want to support Alex Peters and every one of the involved creating Axanar. Every aspect of it, and both movies and the other short clips that are available out there. And I think we need to support this 100%, because what's going on right now is not right. Also, we have a similar thing going on with the Stargate franchise. It's fans versus corporations, and I'll leave it at that. But thank you, everyone. If this video survives and is still online, and if anyone's still watching, remember to be nice and be nice to each other. Thank you.